Hi everybody, how's it going? Today I'm going to be doing the podcast on my own. Bill is a little bit busy today, but fear not, he will be back with us on the next episode. So, the first article that I've come across that I thought would be pretty cool just to add into the podcast is scientists have named a new deep sea supergiant isopod species named after Darth Vader. I mean, that's kind of interesting, isn't it? New deep sea supergiant isopod species named after Darth Vader. This is on Ground News. Scientists have named a new deep sea isopod Bathynemus vaderi. I think that's correct, I don't know. After the character Darth Vader due to its helmet like head. That's kind of interesting. It kind of reminds me of when the councils from each county in the UK, they have this very strange tendency to actually name the grit trucks really daft names. Like I know there was one of them called Nicole Salt Sprinkler or something like that. Yeah, it's kind of quirky, but it's a little bit too much cheese in my opinion. This is quite a nice one. A dog took her own puppy to the vets because the puppy got sick. This was in Turkey, and it's just kind of amazing. Like the dog knew to go to the vets because the puppy was really ill, and it got captured on video. I can't show that for copyright reasons, but apparently now both dogs they're doing really well. They're being monitored by the vets, and they're recovering rather nicely. So that's a nice story, isn't it? UK government have warned about cybersecurity risks in Bluetooth-enabled sex toys. How true that is, I don't really know. But I guess be careful if you've got any naughty toys because they may just be listening to you. Amongst all the rubbish that you see in regards to AI, because let's be honest, AI stuff in general is kind of annoying. It's taken away from the personal touch. But there is there are some good things about it. There's one thing come up here, and it says an Israeli reporter lost his ability to speak. Now AI is bringing his famous voice back on air. So I suppose that's kind of like a success story. A woman is surprised after being declared dead. I've seen articles like this before. If any of you by chance listened to our old podcasts that are now 99.9% unavailable, you'll know that there were a few articles like this back in the day. Probably, I don't know whether Bill and I discussed some of those, but yeah. Apparently, Nicole Paulino becomes tearful as she describes the impact of being declared dead. This was in Washington. Oh, so it's in America with Bill. Maybe Bill knows about it already. Oh, it's in Maryland. Sorry. That's not Washington, is it? I don't think so. Nicole Paulino in Maryland made the discovery after applying to renew her driver's license. She said she was left frightened and surprised as a text informing her she was officially dead popped up in the Maryland Motor Vehicle Administration's system. A lot of issues like that have happened. I remember one woman in France. Well, not I didn't meet her, but I mean, I remember reading about her, and a similar thing happened, and she was genuinely like fighting the legal system to be declared alive, which, yeah, it's interesting. Oh, by the way, everybody, you should send some kind words to Bill in the comments down below. The last thing I heard from him via message was he was driving through a blizzard or snowstorm. I can't remember the exact words. So wish him luck because he tends to run family around in his car, so he's a little bit busy today. Speaking of which, for those of you who aren't from the UK, our snow is gone now, for the most part anyway. There are some patches where it's just too solid to melt, but generally, where we live in the northwest, it hasn't snowed since we last talked about it, which was I don't know how many episodes back, one or two, um, which is kind of dull, because it's nice when it snows. It looks very pretty, but it does make it hard to move around. Um, so there's good and bad, I suppose. So what does everybody think about TikTok having some issues in the USA? I don't think it affects as many people as the media is making out, because although I haven't tried this myself, and there would be no way to try it because I'm in the UK, but apparently if you use a computer, it still works. So that's interesting. However, I'm now seeing that there's going to be a restoration of service, and that is down to Donald Trump, I believe. But I could be wrong on that. We'll just have to see, but hopefully you can get back on it pretty soon. I was thinking to myself the other day, if there's a specific place or places that have servers for TikTok, maybe they could do what Paris did for the Olympics and use all of the heat and redirect all of that heat to heat, homes or different projects, things like that. While the app is down a little bit. I don't know if that would work, but I just feel like during times like this, innovation is probably needed, and then afterwards, if everything has been done correctly, it could be beneficial in the long run. Get inventive and intuitive. But yeah, maybe that's why I'm not the leader of a country, because I'm not sure if that would be possible. I was talking to one of my other friends last night, and we got onto the topic of Minecraft. And I told this particular friend, I won't mention who it is, I told them I've been in my cathedral that I built on mine and Bill's realm, and I've been around it, and I've been doing some titivating and some adjusting and different things like that. And I've been really having this kind of phase of purple and pink. I like those colours anyway, but I mean more specifically theming buildings around that. Very, I don't want to say witchy, but you know where I'm coming from. Well, anyway, I replaced a lot of the big Gothic windows with purple pane glass. I imagine most of you are familiar with Minecraft. I'll add a couple of pictures because those are my images and I can share those. And when I was telling a friend about this, he said, "Oh, that's an amazing coincidence because at least a handful of other people that I don't know have said the same thing. So maybe there's something in the air for pink and purple." I don't know why I thought that was worth sharing, but I did. So you can do with that information as you please. And while I'm on topic of gaming, I was also quite pleased, or not quite pleased, but very pleased to learn that another one of my friends is a fellow Sims player. We had a pretty decent conversation back and forth about different elements of the game that they use the Xbox to play on Sims, whereas I do have it on the Xbox, but I'd prefer to use it on the computer. But yeah, it was quite nice to learn that they're a Sims player. I wouldn't have guessed that. You know, I think we like to play Call of Duty and games like that, and I don't really play those too much. So yeah, I know for a fact that person is listening. So shout out to you. It reminds me of that. It's not really a meme, but it's quite a common thing to see on TikTok. There's a guy from Liverpool. People from Liverpool, they're nicknamed Scousers, and it'll say something that rhymes with is famous saying, "And ta-ra to fucking you." If there are any British people listening, hello. But I wanted to know, should we do a little bit of a debate down in the comments? If you're making tea, shall we say, cup of tea, cup of chai, what do you do first? Do you put the tea bag in, put the water in, let it sit for a moment or two, then put your sugar, if applicable, or sweetener, and then milk? Probably that's how I'd do it. But I'm not one of those who judges too much. As long as you don't put the milk in first. You can't put the milk in first. Do you understand? But what I'm saying is, just let me know because it's interesting, isn't it? It's a talking point. Um, what's your favourite dog breed? I don't really have a favourite personally, but um, I had a dog a number of years back. We called him Georgie because my stepdad liked George best quite um, some amount. Georgie was we think he was he was a staffy, but he was a bit bigger than the regular staffy. I don't think he was an American bully, but I don't know. But yeah, basically just yeah, he was lovely. He wouldn't hurt anybody either, because I know there is a big sort of conversation happening at the moment. They're trying to ban XL bullies, I think it is. But, accidents happen with every dog breed. It's not just bulls and pit bulls and stuffies, etc. But yeah, Georgie, he was lovely, and yeah, we never ever had a problem with him being randomly violent or anything. If anything, it's the smaller dogs you've got to look out for that. Little ankle biters, like Chihuahuas and like Yorkshire Terriers. But yeah, no, I like dogs. I think I've always considered myself a dog person, but I do like cats. We have a cat called Bob. He's quite a chunk. He's like the British Garfield, but black and white. And we have a dog as well called Paddy. He's like Paddy's really interesting. He's small, like a Jack Russell, but he's crossed with Jack Russell and Westie. But if you look at him, what did we say he was? He's definitely Westie cross Jack Russell, but in his genes, there are probably more aspects or elements, if you like, from kind of Jack Russell, but also what did they call them, like Paisley Terrier or something like that. He's very very similar. Like he's got the fringe and the big sort of fan ears, as we call them. So yeah, it is funny. It's quite unique. Yeah, I like both. But let me know if you have any preference. I'm not keen on it when people mass breed animals on purpose just for profit. I think it's pretty wrong. You shouldn't really be buying or selling animals. Fair enough if they're a rescue animal, a rescue pet. But yeah, it comes with a lot of potential issues in the future. Mass breeding and making business from it. It's pretty bad. Like, look at pugs. The way they've been bred over the last few decades, they can't breathe because of their how their faces are. Because they're quite flat. There's another dog that's similar as well, and they have those issues. They're also quite prone to cancers, just genetic. I don't know whether mutation would be the right word, but yeah, they're lovely, aren't they? They are quite cute, but what I'm saying is that they get ill. Do those dog breeds, and unfortunately, it is people who are like selling dogs and breeding them time and time again, and no professionals monitor them properly. They just go out into the open, well, into someone's family. You know what I mean? And fair enough if your dog is well taken care of and what have you, but it's the inside. You can't really you can't be too careful. But I'm not gatekeeping. I'm just saying, it's a shame for them. I think Rottweilers as well. There was an issue with those. They were getting like different types of cancers and things like that. I know it'll happen anyway sometimes, unfortunately. But yeah, I'll tell you a funny story about Georgie. If you would sit next to him on the couch, because yeah, he was a bit of a couch dog. If you ignored him on purpose, he would sort of like stare at you for a while. And if you like folded your arms in front of you, he would force his head between you and your arm so that you'd be forced into cuddling with him. You tell me that's a violent dog. Every big, scary looking dog needs cuddles and teddy bears. Anybody from the US or anywhere else that isn't the UK, basically, if you want to get in on a little bit of the UK law, like I don't know, like stuff the news won't tell you. But yeah, things most, if not all, people living in the UK will understand. Particularly surrounding cars, how the roads work, and a little bit of humour. Also, some bad language. Have a look on YouTube at London Dashcam. That channel is pretty good. He basically drives a taxi. It's an electric car. It's not great, but he'll tell you all about it and stuff like that. But his videos are basically about other road users doing things wrong. So his reactions are quite raw, because it's all from the car. He'll also do voiceover narrating. He'll tell you stories from his taxi, or his cab, as he calls it. It's really interesting, but it's funny at the same time. So if anybody who isn't from the UK fancies just having a look, that's kind of I would say a typical Londoner. You know what I mean? But everybody can understand it. I'm missing the point. Like, yeah, just have a look if you want. Oh, I forgot to mention. Definitely don't check London Dashcam on YouTube if you own an Audi, because he slates them all the time. Well, not the car. He doesn't mind the car. It's the typical driver. He has a saying, always an Audi. And it's true. I agree. A lot of them are pretty self-entitled. Not everybody, just some of them. Speaking of Audi drivers being pretty rude, I had somebody the other day. I was waiting to cross the road, and I saw this Audi approach him. I think it was an e-tron. They cut the corner, didn't indicate whatsoever, and they didn't give way to me when it was like safe to do so. I wasn't that bothered about the giving way part, because not everybody reads the highway code. Some people just get a license and off they go. They'll never look at which rules are changing and things like that. But as a bit of sarcasm, particularly because of the lack of indicators or turn signals, if you like, I waved my arms out in like a sarcastic way, as if to say, like, I don't know, or what. And then I started like waving my hands as if to imitate indicators. And they had the cheek to beep at me, bib or honk. And I was like, who the fuck do you think you are? Press your horn at me because you did something wrong. I will recognise that car if I see it again. This is a small village. Whoever they are, they will be told. I know we're like part way through, but I want to just say again, like, I know Bill's not here on this episode, so it's just been me. It may not have been as interesting as usual. I just want to apologise if it's not been up to standard, because I know me and Bill would kind of like bounce off each other sometimes, and that it kind of makes the episode to what it is, if that makes sense. But he will be back next week. So yeah, if you don't like me on my own doing the podcasts, definitely let us know. I won't be offended or anything like that. On occasion, I think probably Bill will be doing some episodes on his own. Both Bill and I have different things to do. We're hence the name across the pond and back again. We live in different countries, so we're not together when we record. I mean, all you have to do is listen to the other episodes, and that is plainly obvious. But yeah, just once more, sorry if it hasn't been great. I'm just trying to keep it natural, keep it going a little bit. But as always, just let us know. Because Bill will keep on top of the comments, as will I. We appreciate all feedback, even if it isn't positive. If you've got something constructive to say, some criticism, that's fine. We'll take it. If you don't know, I'll put a link down in the description. We do have a Facebook page. There isn't anything exclusive on there. It's just to kind of say we're a new channel. we're doing these podcasts, go over to YouTube, that kind of thing. But maybe from time to time, if something interesting happens during an episode, I could use it as like a teaser. Like coming up next week, we've got Bill said this or Stacey said that. That kind of thing. I don't know. Um, so I'll put the link to the Facebook page in the description. For one or two of you asking about other channels, I'll let Bill come on another episode and tell you all about the other work he does. But for me, I have another channel that I've been doing for a little while. It's called Pesky Shadows on YouTube. And the main sort of topic I've been covering on there for the past maybe 6 to 12 months has been graveyard walks. I've enjoyed doing them, but it's kind of difficult to do them consistently. I think back in September, I did an episode at one place, and I said I'm highly anticipating the cold weather because that would be easier for me to go out and film. If you don't know, I'm not too keen on hot weather. But I haven't done an episode yet, so I feel pretty bad about that. If you want to check out my other graveyard walks or any other videos I've got on the channel, by all means, I'll put a link in the description. Check me out, subscribe. That would be great. But if you don't want to, I understand. And vice versa, if you've come from Pesky Shadows and you're here listening to me talk all this business, hello and welcome. Thank you for coming over. But yeah, I should probably think about doing a graveyard episode. Don't worry though, because neither channel will suffer because of the other channel, if that makes sense. So these podcasts they always will be every week, every Saturday, -5 GMT, and 5 p.m. New York time. That is, so that's 10 p.m. UK time every Saturday. Pesky Shadows, on the other hand, it's really inconsistent. I'll just openly admit that right now. Yeah, I don't think that's too much of a problem because I'm not very well known, and that's okay. I did actually say to some family, I think it was like around about at Christmas, because they were asking how I've been doing with the YouTube channel, and I said, well, it's okay. I've got a few subscribers, not many though. It's not a very engaging thing walking around cemeteries unless people get in touch privately or in the comments. I don't mind, and they ask for a certain person who may be buried or have a memorial somewhere. Because something I've actually stated is when I'm doing the graveyard walks, people watching, like, get in touch. Because if there's like a family member or a friend, you don't have to go there. The videos are there for people to watch and enjoy, And I'll look at the names on the headstones. I can't film every single one, but it's something that I'm more than willing to do. Go back to a specific grave. So if that helps somebody who can't leave home, I can do that. If you have come from Pesky Shadows, I'll just quickly mention, just while I'm here, while it's on my mind, I can't promise what the next episode will be, because I don't really know. As of, what date is it? The 19th of January, when I'm speaking into my microphone right now. You'll be seeing it. You'll be hearing this, obviously, later on, because, yeah. But something I really want to do is I want to go to a specific church and cemetery. It's not far away from where we live, like most of them, actually. Most of them have been quite close. But yeah, I want to go to a really specific one. I'm not going to mention which one it is just yet. But it's a rather old place. If I do end up filming that one, it will be the oldest cemetery and church that I've filmed up to date. And it has a richer, way more broad kind of history, which is really interesting. So I'll I'll try and do that. The reasons you may be wondering, like the reasons I'm very inconsistent with my other channel, Pesky Shadows. It's because of an anxiety and motivation problem, completely a me problem, you know. So maybe that's why I haven't grown on the channel. So my viewers and my subscribers, they don't really find it worthy, to watch and subscribe and that, because I just don't upload that often. And I could apologize for that, but then again, if I could change it, I would. So I'm not gonna, go into it too much. But yeah, maybe one day it'll pick up a little bit, and I'll be able to provide more content. But just going back to my other point, me and Bill are running this channel together across the pond and back again. So the episodes will be consistent here, rest assured. I just want to say, now we're getting towards the end of this podcast, this episode. I just want to say, for those of you that have been tuning in every week, I really appreciate it, and so does Bill. We've been having private conversations about it, and it's really interesting. I know, granted, there haven't actually been any people commenting or getting in touch, one way or the other, and that's all right because there aren't many of you. You may just simply not want to do that, and it's not that we crave attention from people. We're not like that. We certainly don't beg for likes and subscriptions and whatnot and views like some people do. You we'll say it just as a bit of an ending or whatever. But yeah. Anyway, back to it. We're really grateful for who has tuned in already. We're still seeing the views go up slowly. I'm getting a small amount of likes coming through as well. So yeah, I just wanted to say thank you. I think probably 2 people or 3 people that I know personally have been watching. So yeah, that's really great. And the rest, I don't know. Maybe they're from the US or the UK or somewhere else. I don't know. The analytics on YouTube are a bit strange at the moment. I'm not sure if it's because it's a new channel or if there just simply isn't enough data. So I can't really check out where the views are coming from. I'll keep an eye on everything. So I always heard from another YouTuber who has about 15,000 subscribers. We talk sometimes on Instagram, and they said they basically never look at analytics, and that was interesting to me because I just always thought that was something YouTubers were like kind of glued to, to I don't know, see if they can not capitalize but change based on facts. It was interesting to hear that they don't really look at analytics too much because, in their opinion, it just wasn't that important. So where they were coming from with that, it could mean some different things, but I think sometimes they're not 100% accurate. I've found that, and I don't really want to say what it is, but I did some testing once, not long after that was said. And I did something on purpose to record data, if you like. And yeah, I have to agree, it's not 100%. When you go back and look at your analytics on YouTube, it really isn't the best way to look at demographic, geographical, basically anything. It's just great to chat with people if they are willing to comment or, like I said, reach out in private. So yeah, that was just a bit of I don't know, really, a filler. But I will be having a look when we can actually, get things moving properly. So I think I'm going to call this episode here, folks. I know it's a little bit shorter than usual, but Bill's not here, and yeah. So thank you so much for listening. If you want to support us, just click the like button. We would be really, really grateful for that. Even if you listen to like half of this and then listen to the other half another time, that's okay as well. Subscribe to us as well, because, like I said, we are consistent on this one, and we intend to keep it up. I think both me and Bill are really enjoying it, actually. So yeah, it's just that on the occasion, I keep saying this, don't I? But on the occasion, we might be on our own, whether it's like this episode, me, or in the future, I imagine Bill will be doing some on his own as well, because I've got some stuff coming up medically. But we'll both keep trying. If you have any suggestions or criticism or anything, let us know. So thank you. I'll see you in the next one.